To understand where we are, we have to go back to where this all began. The term woke didn't start in a corporate boardroom or a university lecture hall. Its roots are deep in African American vernacular English, AV. It meant being aware of social injustices, particularly those faced by Black people. Think of it as a warning: stay woke, to the systemic racism and oppression around you. Its meaning was clear, powerful, and specific. It was about being vigilant against racial inequality. But then something happened. The term went mainstream. Fueled by the rise of social media and global movements, woke was adopted by a much wider audience and began to encompass a broader range of issues, from gender identity to climate change. This is where things get complicated. So, what's the case for wokeness as a force for good? Proponents argue that it's a necessary catalyst for change. By making us woke, it forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about our society. First, it gives a voice to the voiceless. It highlights the struggles of marginalized communities, making issues like systemic inequality, unconscious bias, and historical injustices impossible to ignore. It pushes for a more inclusive society where everyone is seen and heard. Second, it fosters empathy. By asking us to consider perspectives outside of our own, wokeness encourages a deeper understanding of others' experiences. This can lead to a more compassionate society, where we are more likely to support policies and initiatives that benefit everyone, not just those who look and think like us. Third, it's about progress. For many, wokeness is simply the next step in the long march toward a more perfect union. It's the continuation of the abolitionist, suffragette, and civil rights movements, all of which were considered radical in their time. But for many others, wokeness is a primary driver of division. This is where we need to be really honest and critical. The argument here is that the modern, mainstream version of wokeness has become something very different from its origins. One of the biggest critiques is the shift from awareness to accusation. Instead of just staying woke, the movement has been accused of creating a culture where individuals are constantly policed for their language, their beliefs, and their pasts. This can lead to a feeling of walking on eggshells, where people are afraid to speak honestly for fear of being cancelled or labeled as bigots. Another point of friction is the concept of group identity over individual identity. Critics argue that wokeness often puts people into rigid categories of oppressor and oppressed, based on their race, gender, or other characteristics. This can lead to a breakdown of shared humanity and a focus on what divides us, rather than what unites us. Finally, there's the issue of performance over substance. Is a company posting a black square on Instagram truly committed to racial justice, or are they just performing wokeness to avoid backlash? This performative aspect can lead to cynicism and a feeling that the movement is more about virtue signaling than genuine change. Where do we land? Is wokeness the cure or the disease? The truth is, it's probably both. The original intention, to be aware of injustice, is a moral imperative. A society that isn't woke to its own faults is a stagnant and unjust one. However, the modern manifestation of wokeness has, in some cases, created a culture of division, fear, and performance. The real challenge is to reclaim the original spirit of wokeness, empathy, awareness, and a commitment to justice, while shedding the elements that are causing more harm than good. The path forward isn't to abandon the fight for a more just world. It's to find a way to have these conversations without demonizing one another. It's about moving from a culture of accusation to a culture of collaboration. From a focus on what divides us to a focus on our shared humanity. What do you think? Has wokeness become too extreme, or is it a necessary evolution? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the topics that matter. Be polemic.